Alright, hello and welcome to this International Business Plan presentation for group number 19. My name is Aaron Muscarelli. Chelsey, Chavez, and Alexander Crisp contributed the slides, and we decided to take a look at what it would be like for Blake's Lotaburger, a local restaurant chain here in Albuquerque, to enter into Toronto, Canada. So without further ado, let's get into it. So a little history about Blake's, a little background. It was founded in New Mexico back in 1952. They have quite a few locations throughout Albuquerque, and what we're going to take a look at is what it would take to be successful in Canada, why Canada is a good choice, and what Blake's needs to focus on in order to be successful. So, main question is, would it work, and why would it? A few reasons why this is a good idea for Blake's. Job creation in Canada is always a good thing, and especially in the local areas where Blake's would be, specifically Toronto, which we'll get to in a little bit. There are quite a high number of people living in Toronto, and they would definitely be receptive to local job creation. Overall, Canada is a low-risk market. The way it's designed as a free market system resembles that of the United States, so business is conducted in fairly the same manner as it here is here in the United States. So there's not a big difference there. One thing Blake's has to focus on, however, is the creation of a advertising campaign directed to Canadians in the local areas where Blake's will be, to let them know that Blake's has arrived and what they can expect from it. Obviously, entering into a new country is going to be difficult, and there will be a lot of questions associated with it. One of the biggest questions and concerns is whether or not Blake's has the necessary capital to pursue an entrance into the Canadian market. Another thing, especially for a fast food chain, is the question of where you're going to be getting your supplies, establishing new connections for food suppliers. I'm sure they have a network already in place here in the United States, but obviously they would need to establish a new one in Canada. Another consideration is also the pay of the employees and managers that would be working at the new Blake's. Those could be different than in Canada than they are in here. There also needs to be a competitive enough market that's not dominated by, say, one or two fast food giants, so that Blake's isn't snuffed out by its rivals immediately as it opens and can generate a bit of headway. One of the key concepts this class focuses on is obviously location. So the good news about Ontario is, as you can see here, the majority of food service businesses are considered small businesses with less than 100 employees. And another great statistic is nearly 2/3 of food service businesses are profitable. Here's some nice numbers about net profits. Specifically for Toronto, it is in Ontario, which takes up a little more than 1/3 of Canada. Specifically, that's about 12 million people, and Toronto is home to over 5 million people. So that's obviously a large market, much larger than it is here in Albuquerque. So Canada is appealing for quite a few reasons, especially in the fast food sales area. Now, you can see in April 2015 alone how much sales were generated by fast food services, close to $5 billion. Total operating revenue there, another giant number, as well as you can see in Ontario, over a third of this was generated here alone, and it is increasing. So Canadians also enjoy getting out of the house for a meal or a snack. You can see they visit fast food places quite a few times per year, with French fries and coffee being popular choices. To look at some specifics for the business plan, you can see, like we said earlier, this largely depends on the resource capital that Blake's has currently, whether or not it is a good idea to pursue this endeavor. An easy way to see whether it's worth it or not is a cost-benefit analysis. To look at costs associated with building the restaurant, as well as establishing supply chain and employee costs there versus the type of revenues that they might be seeing. What we feel is the best idea would be for Blake's to only open up with one restaurant now and watch what happens there. Try to get a gist of the nuances of the fast food market in Canada, and then move on from there. Like we said, they have many locations here in Albuquerque. It would be a good idea to open up several more throughout Toronto and then possibly expand throughout Ontario. The way to go about this in the most flexible manner is through a wholly owned subsidiary. Like we see, Blake's remains in complete operational control, which is flexible enough to give them the ability to change their menu and products if they need. Obviously, Blake still has complete equity, and they'll keep the same business practices, the same ways they've gained fame here in the United States for their menu and taste. Specifically, some operations to take a look at. Like we said, name won't change. It'll still be known as Blake's Lotaburger in Canada. The food is cooked to order at all Blake's restaurants, so that may be a little different than say a McDonald's or a Burger King in terms of speed, but Blake's has a lot of pride in the fact that everything is cooked to order, and that affects the taste as well as the freshness. What we feel they should do as well is bring the green chili cheeseburger to Canada. You can see National Geographic loved it, voted it the best green chili cheeseburger in the world in 2006. So obviously it's popular here in the Southwest. That could be a nice little niche to explore in Canada, to see if people would respond to that. Is definitely different than, I'm sure, anything Canada has currently. And other than that, the menu would be unchanged from what it is here. As far as what Blake's should look for as to who should manage the new facility, Blake's obviously has many locations here in Albuquerque which have many employees. So what we think would be the best course of action would be to comb through its candidates, its current managers, and possibly some other staff, to take a look for ambitious employees who want to change, who want to succeed in a new kind of environment. Obviously, it's a challenge to move out of the country, let alone out of state, but it is possible. So in conclusion, we want to thank you for your time. Like we said, Canada is a fairly easy market to enter into, and Blake's is obviously a successful company here in Albuquerque, and there really isn't much of a reason that they shouldn't be successful entering into a new market, specifically Toronto. So for Chelsey, Chavez, and Alexander Crisp, I'm Aaron Muscarelli, and we'd like to thank you for watching.